Tonight, a movie director visits with Troy students.
Plus, there's a new gallery on campus. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for August 24th, 2012. I'm Jamarlo Phillips.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. There hasn't been a new residence hall built on the Troy campus since the Trojan Village was completed in 2007. That will soon change as a new dorm is in its early stages. Amanda Smith has the story.
Some might call it a holy place, others a dorm. However, Troy University officials say it's both. The university has broken ground on a new building that will house more than 350 students, bring more living space to the campus, and have a place for prayer.
Now, the Newman Center is a Catholic organized center, and it will be about 2,300 square foot inside this residence hall. And the whole purpose of the Newman Center is to foster faith, knowledge of the Catholic Church, and it's being funded by the Catholic Church.
And while the Newman Center is based on the Catholic faith, Schmidt says all students are welcome.
That space will be leased by the Catholic Church for Catholic students, but it again will encourage all students of all faith to be come. There'll be a social area there. There'll be a little chapel area. But that's the Newman Center piece of that.
The Newman Center is also aimed to help free up space in some of the other student residences on campus. Schmidt hopes that dorms such as Alumni Hall can be balanced out by the added living option.
It allows us then to do something with alumni. It gives us some space to move students, and then we can begin either to refurbish alumni or do something else with Alumni Hall. So it is a stair-step approach to do something with alumni, but also add these value-based housing for our students.
While this may look like a pile of dirt and rubble right now, the Newman Center is expected to be completed in August of 2013. The Troy University Foundation is building this facility, and it is anticipated to cost $11.8 million. Amanda Smith, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Newman Center dorm will be located on Collegedale Street behind Smith Hall.
Troy University's 2012 Common Reader book for incoming students is The Ghost Map. Yesterday, Isaac Irgis was invited to share his film entitled Snow with students. Deatra Montgomery has more.
It would be death within 24 hours.
Troy University's Common Reader Kickoff Week ended Thursday afternoon with guest speaker Isaac Irgis. Irgis created the film entitled Snow about a doctor named John Snow, the main character for this year's Common Reader book, The Ghost Map. The main point for the presentation of the film was to shed more light on the key character of the book.
He was a thinker. He was a person who sort of made connections. He defied a lot of the conventional wisdom of the day. And so the film really gives us an opportunity in a very short way to understand that central figure of Dr. John Snow.
Though this is not the first time Irgis' film has been coupled with a book, he is excited to be able to share a little bit of more information to incoming students about John Snow and the events around his life.
I think it's a great way to not only kind of give a well-rounded view of John Snow, but also to expose incoming students to different ways of telling stories. Clearly, one is through the book, but another you can tell stories through film as well.
It is a requirement for freshmen to read the Common Reader book. However, it was not a requirement to attend the lectures or film presentation. Irgis and Former hope students that came to the events gain more understanding of the book through the film and embrace their own creativity.
I hope that what students will take away from it is, what does it mean to be a creative and innovative thinker? Okay, how do we use information to be a better thinker?
If you have a goal to make a film, if you are somebody who enjoys film and have the goal to make a film, that you can do it, and that with just hard work and persistence, that you could tell the story that you want to tell.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy TrojanVision News.
Over 500 students participated in this year's Reading Initiative Kickoff Week. Well, Bailey, students may think they have to go downtown or even travel to a larger city to view an art gallery.
That's right, Jamarlo. Students may not know that there is a gallery right on campus. Troy University's Malone Gallery showcases artwork throughout the year. Here's a look at their latest exhibit. Troy University's Malone Gallery of the Fine Arts has opened a new exhibit named Diving Through Surface and Into Light by Georgia artist Casey McGuire.
This is what's called an installation, which the entire space becomes a single piece of artwork. So it really becomes more of a playful interaction between the artwork and the viewer.
Skaggs says the artist's work was influenced by memories from her childhood and her current environment in Georgia.
So everything has kind of a dreamlike stance. It's dealing with a depressed area where there's abandoned buildings, and she's kind of reflecting that upon her own childhood memories.
Skaggs says Diving Through Surface and Into Light is different from other exhibits that have been displayed in the Malone Gallery.
Traditionally, we have students that walk through a gallery, they're expecting to see things on the wall or three-dimensional objects. She's kind of giving you an opportunity to kind of interact within these little elements that are all tied together.
And what does the gallery director hope that students can take away from the artwork?
I hope that it gives them the tools to think a little differently, whether they're a business major, a math major, or a fine art student, enlighten them into possibly creating something very different from what they normally would expect.
If you'd like to view the exhibit, the Malone Gallery is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, the Alabama House's Democratic Caucus has chosen Representative Craig Ford of Gadsden to remain as House Minority Leader. House Democrats announced today that members has voted to keep the same leadership until the 2014 elections. Ford said he will be proud to continue leading House Democrats for another 2 years.
And in Hillsboro, the Alabama Historical Commission is planning a birthday celebration September 8th at the newly restored home of General Joe Wheeler. Director Frank White says the commission just completed a nearly $1.7 million restoration of Wheeler's home at the Pond Spring Plantation.
And also in Montgomery, the Environmental Protection Agency is recognizing the Alabama Department of Transportation for changes it has made to reduce pollution. The State Highway Department has auctioned older diesel vehicles and replaced them with equipment that meets 2007 and 2010 diesel emission standards. It also updated more than 310 vehicles with new clean air equipment.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the volleyball team is getting set for their first action of the season. Justin McNally will give us the details coming up in sports.
But first, there was a shooting today in one of the busiest tourist areas in the New York City. We'll have that story and more after the break.
2 people are dead and 9 others wounded after a chaotic shooting outside the Empire State Building. We'll have the latest on what happened here coming up.
At the heart of what we do in the College of Business is care for the student.
It's a personal thing with the students. We feel like the students are our most important asset, our most important products.
I have never been anywhere where I've known so many students on first name basis. They stop by socially to talk to.
So we understand who our students are, and we're trying to help them be better in their areas of professional work.
My colleagues and I work together to create programs that our students need.
What we try to do at Troy University is provide an experience to students that not only provide the curriculum that allows them to be successful in the business world, but we also try to expand their horizons to reach greater opportunities that maybe they didn't think they were capable of before.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Jamarlo Phillips at the Global News Desk. Jamarlo.
Thank you, Bailey. 2 people are dead, 9 others injured after a wild shootout on the streets of Midtown Manhattan. The shooting shut down one of the busiest tourist areas in the city as police closed off the streets around the Empire State Building. Manuel Gallegos has more from the scene.
A New York City office worker took this photo showing the carnage and the chaos immediately after a fatal shootout outside the Empire State Building. Police say a laid-off designer of women's accessories returned to the place where he used to work and shot a former coworker to death. It was just after 9 a.m. when Jeffrey Johnson confronted his former colleague outside his office near the famous skyscraper.
In front of the building, Johnson produced the pistol and fired at close range, striking his 41-year-old victim in the head.
Witnesses say Johnson then tucked the gun into a briefcase and walked away.
A construction worker who had followed Johnson from West 33rd Street alerted two uniformed police officers who were on post in front of the Empire State Building.
Police say when the officers confronted Johnson, he reached for his gun. That's when the officers fired at him.
I heard approximately 5 to 8 gunshots.
When the bullets stopped, 9 people were shot. It's not clear whether the gunman or police shot the bystanders.
While confronting the suspect and fatally shooting him, unfortunately, there may have been other victims as well.
I saw a woman sitting up against the building with her foot who had been shot. And then I looked halfway down at the doors where you enter the Empire State Building, and the supposed shooter was on the ground and he had been shot.
All of the bystanders are expected to survive. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, New York.
Researchers at UCLA Medical Center think they found a way to help older adults with their memory. Edward Lawrence visits a retirement community in Los Angeles where elderly residents give their brains a workout.
Melanie Hepker started to forget the little things 8 years ago, like her keys or even recent conversations. She's 92 years old.
I'm much older than I look, and the memory was being affected, yes.
She and other residents of Kingsley Manor Retirement Home in Los Angeles agreed to try a computer program designed to make the brain more fit.
I did it because I was told it would help my memory, and it definitely has.
It helps specifically with focus.
So just as someone goes to the gym and works out for 25, 50 minutes, you're getting a 25-minute workout for your brain.
Researchers at UCLA Medical Center studied 59 elderly residents at similar retirement communities. A California company developed the program and funded the study.
Only one of the pieces below fits correctly into this puzzle.
One test challenges seniors to identify the correct shapes. Another pushes memory retention.
The objects you just saw have shifted positions, and one has been replaced. Correct again.
It's taught me to observe more. I was losing that.
Researchers found that people who regularly use the program improve their memory and language skills. About 40% of older adults have growing memory problems. Dr. Miller believes a brain workout could even postpone the effects of Alzheimer's.
And maybe push that time frame off for all of us.
It's great fun.
Hepker says now she never forgets this workout because it works. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, such as which country could be the first place in the world to have a smoke-free generation, you can tune in to TrojanVision Global News right after the Nightly News. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Jamarlo. And now Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. So, Justin, it seems like the Trojan Athletics have only been in action for a couple of weeks, but the volleyball team seems to have a busy weekend.
That's right. They've already completed one game in their tournament, and they're in action in one right now with 2 more later this weekend, but I'll get to that right here in sports.
Sounds good.
Coming off their best season since 2003, the Trojan volleyball team hopes to improve on their winning record from last year as they travel to Georgia to play Georgia State in the Benson Hospitality Bulldog Invitational. However, things did not go the Trojans' way as they fell to the Panthers in 3 sets, 25-21, 25-21, and 25-20. The Trojans held late leads in the first 2 sets but could not hold off the late charge from the Panthers. In the 3rd set, the Trojans kept it close early, but a nice run by the Panthers put them up 14-9, and they did not look back. The Trojans were led by senior Brianna Kalidi, who had 10 kills. The Trojans are currently in action against Slovenia and will finish up play by taking on the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday and Georgia Southern on Sunday. And after suffering its first loss of the season on Wednesday, the Trojan soccer team is hoping to bounce back today with a win against Wofford University. Troy averaged 5 goals a contest in the first 2 games against Alabama State and Alcorn State, but only managed 1 shot on goal the entire match against Ole Miss. Coach Chris Bentley said the preparation for his team will not change. They just have to focus on themselves.
Really focuses back on just the simple things that we've been doing the whole time. It's not going to change a whole lot just because we know that it's about us and us improving only. We're not going to really focus too much on the opponents, just move forward.
The Trojans are on the road in South Carolina for the weekend and are currently in action, and will follow up that with a game Sunday against Furman University. We will have a recap of those games Monday on TrojanVision Nightly News. And when it comes to the game of football, many times you hear coaches speak of teams as a family. But for two of Troy's football players, their family connection extends beyond the football field. Danielle Percival has the story.
Two freshmen on this year's squad have come into fall camp and made an immediate impact. Wide receiver Michael Lindsay and running back Brandon Burks. But the transition from high school to college ball isn't an easy one.
Everything is fast. High school wasn't that fast, so I got to get used to the fast pace. And once I get used to running the routes, I think I'll be very comfortable and get back to my old self as I did in high school.
The plays are coming. I just got to get used to, the game speed. High school, coming from high school to college is totally different. The plays are coming. Coach is teaching me. I'm trying to discipline myself. I'm trying to take the playbook home.
For Lindsay, he says learning the playbook isn't the hardest part of college football.
The playbook is very similar to what I did in high school. The only thing is just it's a bunch of signals. We didn't have a lot of signals in Troy. It's like a couple guys that's giving a signal, so you have to really run on the field and watch the guy that's giving a signal. So that's pretty challenging for me right now.
While these two might share the field at some point, they've got a special connection off the field.
Brandon, my cousin, we roommates together, and like every day we wake up. Both of us, we know we freshmen. They're expecting a lot out of us, so we got to push it together. And I mean, it's fun being here with him because I know he can make plays and I can make plays.
It's great, we be in a room, we study together because we came here at the same time, learning. We got the playbook together. We'll sit there as a habit now. We sit here in the room eating, and then I just call him a play, and then he'll call out his route or something, and he do the same for me, and it's every day just being with that same person, being with a team, you function better, and that's what we're trying to get to do.
Burks has made an impression on the offensive staff and could be seeing playing time early in the season.
Brandon showed some great signs. We're not big into redshirting anybody. We're going to use everybody we can use. That's a deep backfield, but one thing he's done this fall camp is he's shown he's got some explosiveness. He's got great vision. He can catch the ball extremely well. So I think he's putting some pressure on some guys, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
He'll hit the hole. And, like I said, and he'll burst. He's another one that's hard to bring down.
Danielle Percival, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
And if you would like to watch more on the football team, you can tune into the Trojan Sports Now football preview show airing tonight at 7, 8:30, 9, and 11. So as you can see, Bailey and Jamarlo, it's a packed weekend for Trojan Sports. The volleyball team's got a lot of games, so does the soccer team. Hopefully they can get out some big wins after that disappointing loss earlier today.
Absolutely. Best of luck to both teams this weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Justin. Coming up on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll learn about what activities Troy University's Alumni Association offers members during football season.
But first, we've seen sunny days and scattered rains all week, but what can we expect for this weekend, Bree?
As we head into our weekend, it doesn't look like these summer temperatures will be here to stay. I'll have more coming up in weather.
I'm Sandra Fry. I'm a union bus driver, and I'm also a mom. During 17 years with Greyhound, I've covered over 2 million miles. My job is to safely bring families together. I love the open road, but I never forget that a drowsy or careless driver could be right around the next curve. Drunk driving is the deadliest of all. As a mom and as a bus driver, I have a message for you. If you drink, don't drive.
It's not over. Japan still needs our help. This is not yesterday's news. It's happening now. Let's help.
You don't have to be an Olympian to know that kids need physical activity, that learning to swim can keep them safe. You don't have to be an Olympian to know how to get your kids involved in swimming. Go to swimtoday.org and take the first step.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now Bruce Sanders joins us for a look at weather.
Well, Bree, we've been seeing sunny skies throughout the week, and also we've been able to see some very light showers as well. What can we expect for the weekend and going into next week?
Well, all week we have been experiencing those mix of conditions, but it looks like as we head into our weekend, those summer conditions may be here to stay for now. I'll get more into that in just a moment, though. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that it's a beautiful day outside, so whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, you can definitely stop outside and enjoy the view. For our current conditions, right now we have sunny skies, temperatures at 87 degrees, dew points at 66 degrees, humidity is at 49%, barometers at 30.04 inches and steady. Winds are coming in from the east-northeast at 4 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 88, a low of 68. There was 0.04 inches of rain. The sun rises at 6:14 a.m. and it should set at 7:18 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, overall the state is experiencing some upper degree 80 degree temperatures right now. Mobile coming in at 87, Huntsville at 87, Birmingham with a high at 89, Montgomery at 88, Troy at 87, and Phoenix City and Dothan both at 88. Looking at our current temperatures across the southeast in our area, we're experiencing some lower 80 degree temperatures. And as we move throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures decrease just a little bit into about the mid-70s there in the Carolinas. As we look at our temperatures across the United States, here on the West Coast, we see they're experiencing some mid-50 to upper 50 degree temperatures, but as we move back through our area, they decrease about 20 degrees higher into the mid-80s. Looking at our current surface map, here in the Midwest, we see that they have a few low and high pressure systems here, bringing in a few heavy rain systems, possibly coming towards our area sometime next week. But as we take a closer look in our area, we don't have too much going on today. A few low winds, but no rain. Travel weather for the next 12 hours. If you happen to be traveling around the southeast in our state, you shouldn't be expecting too much rain, too much difference from where we are now. But if you happen to go towards the Carolinas or even back towards Texas, you may want to grab some rain gear just to stay dry. As we head into tomorrow on Saturday, still no rain in our area, but as we look towards the west of us here in Louisiana, we see Louisiana will be expecting significant amounts of rain possibly headed towards our way. As we close out our weekend on Sunday, still no rain in our area, but we see that rain that moves up to the Midwest coming in through the northern part of Tennessee. As we begin Monday, that rain gets a little bit heavier through that area, and on Tuesday it skips over us. That could be that Hurricane Isaac. Projections say that it may be hitting our area Tuesday, but that is subject to change. So you should look out for that. But it seems like that rain gets a little bit heavier in the Florida area, significantly there, barely touching the southernmost part of our state. So we may not have too much to worry about, but you still should be on the lookout for that. For tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain, straight thunderstorms possible, winds coming in from the southeast at about 3 miles per hour with a low of 68. So tonight will be much like last night. It'll be a little bit warm outside. We may have a cool breeze, so if you just happen to be outside tonight or out and about, you may want to grab a light jacket and whatnot just to stay warm. For tomorrow's forecast, we have mostly sunny skies, 20% chance of rain, possible straight thunderstorms in the afternoon, winds coming in from the east at about 8 miles per hour with a high of 90 degrees. So much like today, tomorrow will be very warm outside. You can definitely go outside and enjoy your Saturday with nothing to worry about there. As we head into our 4-day forecast, for tomorrow we have a high of 90 degrees with a low of 67. On Sunday, that high remains in the 90s, right at 91, another low of 67. On Monday, it decreases just a little bit into 89 with a low of 72. And on Tuesday, you have that high of 81. The temperatures change almost 10 degrees there with a 20% chance of scattered thunderstorms. So, Jamarlo, yes, we did have those mixture of conditions this week, but as we head throughout our weekend, it should be pretty and sunny. But as we go into next week, we may have a chance of severe weather with the Hurricane Isaac in the area, but the projections are subject to change. So just to be on the lookout for that, we may want to grab our rain gear and keep a lookout for the weather next week.
All right. Thank you, Bree.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.